Hey everybody, my name is Heather and I am from She Said Candle Co. I make videos all about my journey of starting a candle business. So all the way from making to marketing to promoting to selling, anything in between, I will at some point, if I haven't already, make a video about. So welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about my startup costs. So I want to let everybody know kind of how much it costs me to get to the point that I am able to test all of my candles. So not necessarily what I'm spending right now, but just what it took to get me started so that I could have enough supplies to actually test, knowing that at the end point was to start a company and to sell hopefully all around the world. So if you're interested in that, keep watching. We're going to go ahead and get right into it here and talk a little bit first about what kind of wax I use. So I use coconut wax, and I made the mistake of using too many jars. So one of the things that I wished I would have done was not use 3 vessels to start with, but just one. So I couldn't decide, and I had started a candle company a long time ago, or making candles when my kid was on maternity leave, and I had these jars and I loved them, but then I found something new. I wanted to use them, so I ended up with 3. So I have a tin, a clear jar, and a matte white jar. So I tested all of them in the process, and just testing alone, I've used over 45 pounds of wax for probably like 5 or 6 fragrances. So big mistake. It's not what this video is about, but pick one jar and stick to it. All right, so first off, I'm going to talk a little bit about the miscellaneous supplies that I needed, the ones that weren't so expensive but were a must. Remember, keeping in mind that my intention is to sell candles all over the world, kind of make a job of it, right? And a hobbyist may be able to get started a little bit cheaper than this. But they are going to need some of the same things that I have, but maybe not buying in the bulk that I did with the wax and the jars and the fragrances. So let's just go. A crock pot, right? I use the kind that you can get on Etsy or Amazon, where they already have the spout kind of screwed into the side. You can make your own, but I just chose to purchase it. And again, I'll link all this stuff so that you guys can check it out. I don't have any affiliate links or any sponsors or anything like that, but you'll still maybe be able to find benefits in checking out some of the things that I have. A countertop burner, so one of those little burners, I use that to warm my melting pitchers up with. And I have a heat gun. I have a food scale that I use for both the fragrance oils and for the wax. I have pouring pitchers. I have like 5, but one of them costs around $17. Fragrance pour spouts, the kind that people use behind the bar, like for alcohol. I put those into the fragrance oil bottles so that when I measure them out, they don't spill. Like I was running into this issue where there was fragrance oil all over my hands. It was dripping down the bottle. It was a waste, and it was just really messy. So I found these spouts, and they work much better. I bought a warmer to test my wax melts. I make wax melts as well, and I didn't have like a warming thing, so I had to buy that too. It's very decorative and pretty, and I use it to test my wax melts. Wick centering bars, so once the candle's poured, I put the wick centering bars on there so the wick stays straight. I have a respirator that I use. A digital thermometer. I have both a digital thermometer and I have a, I guess it's an infrared one that I test my jars with, the heat, like the temperature of the jars when they're burning. Spoons to mix. Measuring jars, so what I measure my fragrance oil, and I have glass ones, but you can get silicone ones too. There's a ton on Amazon. You just want to make sure they're big enough, because when you pour, like let's say you have like 150 grams of fragrance oil, if you have like just a shot glass size, that's not going to be enough. So you want to make sure they're big enough to hold a good volume of fragrance oil. I have gloves that I use, clamshells to pour the wax melt stuff, wax in. And then we're going to kind of get into the more expensive things. So I have matte white jars, and I get those from 7 Tins online. They come in 36 at a time, so I bought a whole case of those. I bought a case of my clear jars, which are 10-ounce jars, and I got those at the jar store, and I got lids for them. Both of them come with lids. I like 7 Tins because They come with the lid, and the shipping is already in the price of your case. So it just kind of makes you feel like you're not spending so much money. My white jars cost around $3.86 a piece with a lid. They're 12 ounces, and I like them. Tins I get from Amazon. $26 for a case, which is great. So then I have C55 wax that I use for my tart wax. Got that from Central Illinois Candle Supply. That was about $152 with shipping. Coconut wax from North Star, and $145 with shipping for 45 pounds. Fragrances to start. So Midwest Fragrance Company is where I got my fragrances to start, and I spent $197 there. I got a bunch of them. They're close. They're like 2 hours from my house, so I just kind of want to shop local if I can. There's really no candle supplies by my house, but Midwest Fragrance happens to be here, which is cool. Wick stickers, so put them on your wicks, wick tabs, I guess you'd call them, stick them to the jar, have those, and then my actual wicks. So when I was first starting out, I became a member of these candle making groups, and they were super helpful to help me pick out the wax that I wanted to use. The coconut one, I'll link them too. Strictly Coconut Wax. I think it's called For the Love of Coconut Wax. It's a great group. They are really strict about what you post in there, which I like, because then there's no tangents. It's just strictly about using and making candles or melts with coconut wax. And so I love that. And then there's another one, DIY, I believe it is, and that's extremely helpful for everything else. So those two groups, if it weren't for them, I would never have been able to start this. So I'm going to link those because they gave me a great idea of what wax I wanted to use, what wicks, where to start with. The candle wax, the coconut wax group actually has files where they've put, if you use this wax, start here with wick sizes. Again, it's just, kind of where to start, but testing is what takes the longest. Like, I've been testing since August of last year, and I just finally launched my candle company in December. So testing took a long time. And it should, right? You want to get everything right. So anyway, I've got a lot of wicks. Some of them I don't use, some of them I do. I love the Aroma Lights with my wax. That's my go-to, but I have had to use a few different other brands, just because some of the fragrance oils are heavier and they didn't work. So $1,219.78 is what I've spent in startup. And again, like I said, hobbies could go simpler, right? Maybe not cost as much, maybe not buy as much wax or as many jars. When you don't buy as much, though, your cost per item goes up, or cost per pound. So that's something to consider as well. But yeah, like $1,200 to test and get me launched. I've spent more since then to keep going, and I'm selling things, and my website's up now. Now those costs don't include website costs, just the miscellaneous expenses that go along with labeling and things like that. So we can cover that in a different video. But that's just to start testing. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Comment below. You can send me a DM on Instagram. I'm on there. She Said Candle Co. Excited to make another video. Hit like, subscribe. I'm excited to keep this channel going so I can help people like you. I'm going to add some more marketing things on there. I've run a couple businesses in my life, so I'm good at that stuff. And I figured maybe possibility is that some of you are not, or that's not your thing. So I'd love to be able to help with that as well. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.